I just wanted to talk about how soon is too soon in regards to getting a passed over loved one reading. And there probably really is no true or real answer to this. Everyone grieves in different ways, and it depends on what your relationship was with the past loved one. I do have a rule to wait 3 months. I prefer people to wait at least 3 months. Not because of the spirit person, because as soon as they cross over, they're fine, they're ready. I've had spirit come through like within hours, even before their funeral, I've had the spirit person come through. So it's not something that I do a lot being that soon, but sometimes I haven't known and until I've got the spirit person. So, and I say 3 months, it's probably still not long enough. But like I said, everyone grieves in different ways, and having a passed over loved one reading and connecting to your spirit person, it's a very healing process. But sometimes, it really can be too soon when we're in that midst of, true, real, horrific grief. We don't hear things, we don't hear the message, we don't receive the healing, or we're expecting so much because we haven't had a chance to grieve the physical loss of the person. And how long that takes, as I said, it's just such an individual thing. And do we ever get over it? I would say no, we don't, and we continue grieving. People grieve in different ways. I guess we learn and adapt to grieving in different ways as time goes on, and we deal with it. It's not that we get on with our lives and forget about them. We just deal with our grief in different ways, and every day as well. It's a roller coaster. So I've totally had readings where too soon, or soon was a really good thing and it is just so what they needed. And then I've had other readings where it has been too soon, and the grief, they couldn't take in the positivity of the reading. It can also hinder a reading in a way, because the grief is like a vacuum, and when I'm doing a reading with spirit, there's 3 people involved: me, the spirit person, and the recipient. So it's like a triangle, and if my recipient's just grieving so much, they're almost pushing away, like everything is energy, they're almost pushing away the spirit person and the energy, and my ability to be able to connect this triangle, so to speak. So it's not that the spirit person isn't there or the spirit person isn't ready. Their loved one, of course, wants to connect with them, but grief is such a real thing, and it is quite heavy, so sometimes the reading's not as expected, or not as good as it could be, because of that grief is stopping the reading in a sense. So and that's what I mean by there is no right or wrong. I know mediums that won't do a passed over loved one reading for over a year. The passed over loved one have to wait a year before they'll sit down with the recipient and get their passed over loved one for them. So every medium's individual, every person's individual. So although I have the 3-month waiting period, there really is no time, and I really put it back on that recipient. Are you ready? Are you ready to connect? Do you feel that you've grieved enough of that physical loss to connect with them? And sometimes people don't know that. They don't know the answer, but you would probably know a little bit if you're ready, and if you're not. And I usually talk through it with people, and I ask that question, do you think you're ready? Because I truly have had people that they just weren't ready, and they've come back a year later and it's been a totally different reading. So I guess a medium's job as such is it is to bring through that healing and to bring through messages from your past over loved ones, but we can't fix it. We can't bring them back. As much as, we would love to, we're not able to do that. And I feel that in the early stages, that hope, and that real need is, it's not able to be met, because it just, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So just, take your time is all I say, or, and if not, talk to the medium that you're, potentially wanting to go to, and find out their views, and obviously mediums aren't in it to prey on the grieving. I would rather people wait a year. I honestly would. But I'm not going to turn away people after the 3-month stage if they feel they're ready, and if they feel they really need it, and if they feel that it's going to help them move on in some way, as long as they're getting support from other sources. I'm fine with that, but I feel just having that conversation and getting informed, making that informed decision, you'll know in your heart whether it's right. And I'm a big believer in the spirit person picking the medium anyway, so it's almost like they've prompted you to find that medium for whatever reason. That medium might relate to your loved one more than someone else, so it's sort of, they find the medium that fits them, and that communication that's probably best suited to you as well. So just remember, it is a triangle, and as a sitter, as a recipient, you play a big part in that connection as well. So I hope that's helped.